There we go. Look at that. Well, let's hang tight for a moment and let folks usher on in and get ready to part two training. Oh my lord, I'm about ready to have some fun up in here. Oh my. Let me step out of the camera. Let's see. Let me get a drink of my delicious iced tea. Ooh, you checking out some of the stuff we've got today?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it's 5 o'clock. Let's get started. I'm sure folks will start showing up a little bit. Everyone, my name is Randy, of course, right here in Houston, Texas. I'm known as the king of solar screens, and of course, myscreenkit.net is our national e-commerce site. Obviously, about 2 months ago, we were asked to start teaching. And I tell you, after 2 decades of being in this industry, I was so excited to do just that. My gorgeous wife is behind the camera once again this Tuesday. Today, of course, again, we're just going to talk about the frame and the accessories, and this is exactly what I teach when folks show up here at our little shop. Our first few hours is all about this, and then we start working into miter cuts, square cuts, installing some of the hardware. Of course, we're going to go into that here in a minute. And then the hard part, well, maybe it's the easy part, the part where we're rolling, oh yeah. But first, my wife and I lost someone who's very, very special to us, especially to her, as she was raised on this particular pasture all her life. I won't specify her age, but she's 21, or at least a little bit more. So, my baby. As I'm sure a lot of the world who is watching this has probably already known that Pastor Jimmy Swaggart passed away this morning, and 90 years young. And I feel so blessed that because of my wife, the one is holding that camera behind you, or behind me there, or behind the whatever, you know what I mean. I feel so blessed because in our marriage, she brought me into Jimmy Swaggart's ministry, the Family Worship Center out in Baton Rouge, and I proudly love to display the clothes, the t-shirts that they make. But most than anything, I feel so blessed, and I don't know if you can see that well on the camera, that this last fall, I got to enjoy a second breakfast sitting with, you called them your rock stars.
Yeah.
And I have to say they are mine as well. Of course, Donnie, the son, and then Pastor Jimmy. I feel so blessed that I was able to do that twice. And the coolest thing, and I love sharing this with my wife, is I sat down. I had my eggs and my biscuits and all that good stuff. Jimmy came and sat with me. I didn't find him, he found me. And I love that. And I will say one thing that just blew my mind. I was sitting there having a conversation with Donnie. Well, and Jimmy, of course. But Donnie had made some remark about breakfast, and Jimmy didn't like grits. He didn't like grits. A Louisiana guy didn't like grits. I thought, oh my Lord, but he sure had a lot of eggs and biscuits in front of him. So a gentle giant went home to be with the Lord today, and oh my, we'll have a history. Oh man, I mean that broadcast has so many recordings of that man for the last 80 years or close to it. It's a blessing. Okay, I'm gonna move on. My baby. I love it. Okay, let's get to it. Today we're talking accessories, or the frame as well. So what I've done here is I tried my best to lay out in front of us here on the bench exactly what you will likely need. Other than the miter saw, of course, with an 80 tooth or better blade, which I have over there. I keep mine mounted. You guys can put yours under a bench like we talked about episode 1. 3/4 inch, 5/16 thickness. 5/16 thickness, which is how I should have started that, 1 inch. And what I love about it is it's not 7/8, it's a true 1 inch, not 1 1/8, 1 1/16. It's a true 1 inch. So you know you're getting, and this is of course a true 3/4. The folks who roll form this aluminum are amazing, and they do such a great job. There are 2 other thicknesses, 3/8 and 7/16. We do not use those, and I do not carry them. Years ago, and I'm talking 20 years ago, I did have those, and after about 15 years of being covered in dust and spider webs, I realized there's not a soul on the planet that needs those sizes. So we took it down and turned it into taco money, which I'm sure some of you guys in the past have seen the video of our shop teacher out there, Nolan, the white bearded guy. He set us up our little bucket, and he called them footballs. is when you're doing your miter, obviously you're creating these reverses, if you will, where you've chopped it off. And he called them footballs because, you know, it reminds us of when we were kids. You remember in, like, what would be about 8th grade, kicking the football until the teacher, get out of my class, and you had to go to detention or ISS for a week and stare at a wall. Well, Nolan came, I've got off subject there, didn't I? Nolan came up with the bright idea of a big 50-gallon barrel, and we used to fill these up about once a week, and he'd take them down to the scrapyard and buy us all tacos. And I think we were all given about 4 or 6 tacos a week. And I got to tell you, out in Baytown, wow, they know how to make some breakfast tacos, which were actually steak fajita. It wasn't really a breakfast because, I mean, it was fajita and some cilantro and some limes. Oh, yeah, baby. I'm getting hungry now. Well, let's get back to it. So this is the aluminum that we use. We are an exclusive distributor of ScreenCo. I'm very, very proud of that. You guys look for that, ScreenCo. I'm sure there's ScreenCo.com. Don't hold me to that, but originally that company is located in Canada. They have maybe 5 locations here in Texas, and they are my roll former. But as I've mentioned in the past, I always have 2 people or 2 companies that I can buy my product from, because you never know when one might be out of, say, 1-inch black frame or whatever the case. Well, I always have a second, and I use ScreenFab. Also across the country, I think Arizona, Las Vegas, here in Texas, obviously. And there may be one other location I don't know about. I heard Okie likes to watch, which is one of the sales rep in Dallas. And if you're watching, correct me, chime in, let me know if I missed one of your locations. Or Brandon, he's out in San Antonio, also a salesman. Fantastic guys. But both companies phenomenal, but ScreenCo obviously is my distribution point. So that's where I get all my roll form aluminum. 16 foot in length, so I carry all 5 colors of 3/4. I very seldom use it because I use it mostly either for that tension bar that a lot of you guys who order my screen kit get, as well as for bug screens, because that's just standard. Otherwise, when it comes to the solar screen, it's always that true 1-inch frame. And again, I carry 6 colors. The 4 main, the white, the tan, the champagne, and the bronze. But I am very, very proud to say I have the beautiful smooth black, and also that mill, which I actually have a piece here. I should have pulled that up earlier. Oh, I still have a corner in there from a former one. I mentioned last week, and I still believe it's 100% truth, that I'm still the only company in the Houston market that carries 1-inch mill, or silver is the other name. Toss that out. So what else do we have? Well, we have the corners, and of course, interior where we do the miter, as you can see on this one here. You've got a plastic 3/4 interior or aluminum interior. One thing I noticed, if you go to the box store and buy the stuff they carry on the shelf, and I won't say their names, usually you end up with either one of these plastics or one of the exterior plastics, which both of them are fantastic. Obviously plastic, especially the exterior, 10, 12 years if you're lucky, and then it'll start to corrode or rot and even fade away. So for us big guys or screen guys who really want to make an amazing product, we try to always do miter. But we do realize there is a place for the squared exterior corners. And of course, we'll go into that in a minute when we jump to this side. And then of course, 1-inch is also the same. You've got a plastic interior corner or the aluminum. Our preference obviously here is aluminum. However, I will be very honest, and I'm sure there's other manufacturers who, if they want to be honest, will tell you that we run out of these. Sometimes they're hard to get. So we always keep about 10,000 of the black ones, or the plastic ones, in the background, because you never know. All right. My amazing wife, who's behind that camera, for years I only used a black marker to mark my points where I'm going to cut. Well, these darker frames, as I've aged, maybe my eyesight's changed a little bit. Well, that amazing woman right there who I just got to look at, she got me a white marker. I don't know where, so you guys good luck finding that. But do you want to share where you got that white marker?
Temu.
Temu. That's one of those online app things.
Yes.
I love it. Sorry guys, it's 100 degrees today in the shade in Houston, so I've been drinking a lot of iced tea. And I'll be quick to say I do not add any sugar. My wife says I'm sweet enough. Oh yeah. All right, back to it. So we have the white marker. That just makes it easier when you mark it. There we go. It makes it easier to cut, especially when your eyes are 50 years old like mine. So, all right, what else do we got? Crossbar pins. These are used, of course, if you guys have ever watched our big video, the My Screen Kit video, how to, which I believe is up to almost 30,000 views. That's exciting. So that's letting you guys know that these kits are a hit. And that rhyme, the kits are a hit. So, of course, these are in there, but these crossbar pins are perfect for adding that 3/4 inch crossbar when you're creating a frame, just in case your customer wants that crossbar look, also known as a tension bar. Mostly that is old school technology now, if you will, because we always screw, or some folks even use brick clips to hold these frames in place. So you really don't need that anymore unless your customer just likes the look instead of a big blackout, if you will, and have a little break in the middle with a white bar or champagne or whatever the case. Rivets for putting corners together like archwork. We use a 3/16 rivet, which I believe is also standard. And what I love is our supplier has painted them, or had them painted the same color as the frame. And incidentally, this one is a champagne. I thought it would be easier to see there on the camera. But so I carry all 5 colors of that. They've even got black now, so I'm going to change that 6 colors. When you're building a bug screen, we've got pull tabs, which I'm sure a lot of you guys who are watching this today, you know that your little half bug screen, you have the little tabs at the bottom. It's where you can lift that up out of the channel easier. So that's what that is. This is called acorn latch. Gosh, I hope I'm saying that right. And this, especially on vinyl windows. And of course, a rivet connects that to the frame. And that just allows the homeowner to lock it in place or unlock it and be able to remove that screen. We've also got these funny looking springs, which are not very popular. So needless to say, I bought like 10,000 of these like 10 years ago, and I still have 9,500 of them. But these are known as ram horns. Cooler name than the actual cooler spring. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's not well seen, especially in the Houston market. Some of the older homes from the 40s and 50s, you still kind of see that tension spring or that ram horn. So I have to stock it because, again, we're a manufacturer. We also have the leaf springs. We have the one that's a punch-in leaf spring, which you would punch in at the top. And I'm sure a lot of you guys who are watching this will probably grab your window screen and see that these are punched in at the top. And then my favorite, which is the slide-in leaf spring. And this is probably something you're going to find at the big store as well. Is it's just easy to just slide it in place. And you're done. You don't have to punch holes in it. You don't have to get any special tools or nothing. And speaking of special tools, those ram horns, and I'm going to give a shout out to a name inadvertently, Dremel. Believe it or not, we actually put this on our little Dremel tool. We turn this frame to the back side, and we just put a little zip, 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 just big enough so that those portions, and actually I think that's upside down in my hand, so that this part will tuck up and in nice and easy. And that makes it a lot easier. So you don't have to buy a specialty tool. Instead, just get a Dremel. I think they're less than $100. I'm sure they're actually cheaper than that, but that should be easy. Also, we have, oh, I love these plunger bolts. Again, this is typically seen on a vinyl window, and it's spring-loaded. And of course, to make our fingers not hurt, when we build these, we always click those in place. And I'm not going to click it because it's a pain in the booty to take apart. But this is a spring-loaded holder, I guess. And again, typically this is used in vinyl windows. Some of them are designed to a specific inch, but most of that vinyl windows have an open track, so whether it's 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches in, it doesn't matter. And the way we do this is I use a 3/8 drill bit. And I should have had this out. 3/8 drill bit, which is the perfect thickness. And I turn my frames up sideways, and all I do is drill straight down. It comes out the bottom of that track line, and that's exactly where the black portion, or the cap, goes underneath, thus creating a spring action to make those bug screens amazing. I love it. All right. So, obviously a rivet tool. And as my wife always tells me, safety glasses. Got to have safety glasses. And then a rubber mallet. Sometimes, and my wife can testify, because she does a lot of the assembly for us. When we're out here, we'll have 20 or 30 of them across the bench. She'll put them together, and she'll testify that sometimes in corners are quite tight. So she uses the butt of that rubber mallet to give it a nice little tap. Also, by using the rubber mallet, you shouldn't worry about denting or breaking your frame, so you should be good to go. All right, I'm moving on, and now I'm going to talk about, well, you guys saw my corners. Of course, I have a 45-degree mitered corner, and I just kind of stuck an aluminum corner here and a plastic corner on that side so that you guys can kind of get a general idea of how that looks. In fact, I guess what I should have done, let me go ahead and shove that in, and that in, I've actually got two other pieces. Could almost assemble that right here in front of you guys, so that's a nice tight, well, it doesn't look tight, so, but it is. It may have been me just the way I put it together. Let me give that a little thump. So we get a nice, beautiful, clean, mitered corner. I love that. Beautiful. So, I made that look tough. All right. And our other option is, as I mentioned, the exterior plastic corners, both for the 1-inch as well as the 3/4 inch. And of course, I just chose a white frame because I actually had those out already doing some work earlier. And as you can see, it's a very rigid, true 1-inch. It's very snug. Also on the 3/4, it even has a little, like, I don't know, a little nipple, I guess is the right word for that, that sticks up so that as you're running your spline in, it holds it deep and it won't allow it to pop out. And that to me makes that a really valuable idea, and really keeps it nice and clean. And you don't have to worry about your screens coming undone. Now in this industry, especially down here in the coast, almost all of us use a 3/4 inch galvanized screw with a 1/4 inch head. It's always painted the same color as the frame. In past videos, you guys have heard me say that I also can and will use stainless steel screws, especially for the folks along the water line, as we are literally across the street from Galveston. Well, a couple of miles, but literally across the street. And I want to make sure that that screw does not rust. So those kind of homes, we automatically will use those. Otherwise, this is just standard 3/4 inch self-tapper. You have nothing to worry about. Easy peasy, and I use that magnetic bit, which they're both out in the van, because I had Eric with me today, so we had both our drills out running. I wanted to make sure he got back in time to do this, but so that's that. And one other option, and I've heard 1,000 names for this, and I'm not going to even try to guess. I'm going to call it a turn lock. And what does that mean? So we would, if you as a homeowner do not want your screens screwed in, oh, that's got a number on the back. What we'll do instead is we'll mount this to the frame of the window so that you, let me see if I can hold that correctly, so you can actually spin that around. Make it a lot easier and a lot quicker to take off that screen, just in case you're in one of those areas where maybe you want to remove it for the winter to allow that sun's heat to come on in and get some free winter heat. That's a great idea. It makes it easy. They're hard to find, but somehow I ended up with a bag of 100 white ones. I'm not sure how, but hey, we'll take it. So that's it, guys. That is all. Oh, and then I am a big believer on no scratches, no dings, no floppiness, or whatever the case. So everything we do, we shrink wrap it in bundles of 5 or 6. It just depends on who's carrying it. Obviously, you don't want to make it too heavy, so it doesn't hurt to have some shrink wrap. Awesome. Other than that, that is pretty much all I wanted to cover. I just wanted to show you guys the accessories. Now Thursday, join me because we will be on that miter saw. I'm thinking I should cut before we film, so that screeching noise isn't like making everyone go, ah! What do you think about that? Should I pre-cut?
Pre-cut it.
You got it. So we'll do that, and we're going to put a few screens together, and maybe I'll get lucky and we can even roll one while we're live, and kind of up this up, because we're going to do 3 more of these. 1 more Thursday, and then 2 next week. And that's pretty much everything, except for you folks who are coming here to our class or our school. It's just 3 days. And the cool thing about that is I buy lunch. Because I like lunch.
Lunch is
Hot
good.
dogs and hamburgers and Panera breads and oh baby. And I like Panera bread because I'm a veteran and they give us a beautiful discount at the Paneras down here, especially over by the Air Force Base, Ellington. But enough of that. Folks, that was it. My love, is there any questions to be asked back there?
Not at the moment.
Oh my gosh, no questions today. So again, all we did was cover the accessories, the aluminum itself. My two favorite suppliers, Screenco and Screen Fab. Gosh, this is kind of interesting to do it on a camera or in front of the film versus the folks that come in to learn right here at our shop. But I like that, and I think that's really neat. And is there anything else I should touch on?
I think that's good for this
My
time.
goodness. Well, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who's tuned in. You guys, there was, I think 3 is what we ended up talking to out in Arizona, a couple in California and Nevada. I know you guys down there in Arizona, we've already sent you 2 folks to go talk to there locally about becoming a dealer and buying their product locally. But I was able to confirm over the weekend, I got a hold of the CEO of Screenco, and he said shipping is available. So I want to let each and every one of you know that if this is an industry you'd like to get into, I would urge you to call on Screenco, find the one that's closest to you. I know there's a couple up in the north, and of course I know we have one here in Dallas, or in Dallas, we're in Houston. So here in Texas, seems like there's one in Nevada. I feel horrible because I really like that. I really like all those guys. They're fantastic to talk to. And especially Craig, you know, because it reminds me of my childhood as I grew up in Detroit, and hearing him talk with that, you know, because he's up north of the border, I love it. I absolutely love it. It reminds me of my childhood up there in the Irish Hills of Detroit. So, well, I'm getting off the sidetrack. I seem to do that often. So, guys, we just hope you are blessed. Stay blessed. And prayers to each and every one of you guys. You know our email, kingofsolarscreens@gmail. myscreenkit@gmail. Of course, you can always jump on our website, kingofsolarscreens.com, which we're getting ready to revamp that because now that we know shipping is available, we're going to add a whole new section. Oh, yeah! Where we're going to start shipping that raw material everywhere, which I'm excited about. But never forget, our finished product is on myscreenkit.net. And of course, we ship to all 50 states. I've only had one person get a little upset with me because it took too long. And but the problem was we were actually out of white frame, and so it was 2 extra days on the shop. But we used the postal service, and it took like 6 days. I don't know why. I guess it's just where he lived. But other than that, you guys, if you order it on a Monday, pretty good chance you're going to have it on Monday the next. So I love guaranteeing everything in a week. So again, those are our 2 emails, our 2 websites. That's it. I thank you guys for joining us today. Submit any and all questions. Hey, like us and subscribe as well. I think we're, 30 away from 1,000? Oh my Lord. I mean, that's a blessing and then some, because it means I'm touching folks, and I'm giving you something educational, I suppose. So that's it. You guys be blessed. One person.
Well,